Hello ladies and gentlemen, my name is Troy Allen Galat. Welcome to Trigger Time TV, brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to start off today's show, Steve Fisher of Sentinel Concepts is back out in Pascagoula, Mississippi. Today, the Yeti is going to be talking about targets and target zones.
Hey guys, Steve Fisher from Sentinel Concepts here. We're today in Pascagoula, Mississippi at the Pascagoula PD range. Today we're talking about targets and target evolution. When I first started training back in the late 90s, that all we ever really had realistically was a blank sheet of paper that had either some circles drawn on it or lines or bullseye B8 type targets or police department qualification targets. What really started to originate and happen was a man named Louis Auerbach, who really originated the evolution of the target system by going to a 3D target that he was forming out of cardboard and basically stapling them in the shapes that he needed to get people to realize that human beings and shooting defensively at human beings was more than a piece of paper. You needed to actually see the shapes, see the angles, and understand the targetry and what you were actually aiming for and the scoring zones to get good lethality, good target impacts, and to stop the threat as soon as possible, whether it was brain box shots or center mass. For the most part, over the years, people have always relied on these, which there's nothing wrong with. They're great for setting standards. They're excellent training tools for fundamentals of accuracy, training drills. But when it comes to getting more realism and in a more dynamic environment, we have to have something like this. Why? We have a real human face, we have a real human shape. We can put human faces on paper, which is fine. It still gets people in that mindset of this is an actual person that I'm having to do work on. Whereas this gives us the full picture. It gives us the body, it gives us the angles, it gives us the shapes, and actual references of where the rounds need to be impacting in our training program. One of the reasons that we need to really get into people's heads of why we shoot such a multiple round count in a short duration burst period of time is proximity. If this person is on top of me, we're within arm's reach distance or slightly outside of that entanglement zone where it could go hands on and I need to get that gun out and do work right now immediately, I need to get them off of me and give them as much as possible that I have in the gun to solve that problem as quickly as possible. It could be everything from a burst of rounds in the chest to a burst of rounds in the face. Whatever gets the job done is the priority. And that's what we need to concentrate and focus on. All right, guys, what we're gonna do now is we're gonna shoot a couple of drills and exercises on both of these targets. There's a million exercises and drills out there that involve shooting. You can mix them up how you want. Some of my preferred ones that I like to do a lot of are anything from a simple enhanced failure drill, which is 3 rounds center mass followed up by 2 to the brain. And then on the other target, I could potentially just shoot an NSR non-standard response or a burst of fire or a cadence. Why do we shoot a burst of fire or cadence? Because double taps are silly. We have modern capacity guns that hold a lot of ammo, and even today, for guys that still run 1911s, myself included, I've got 8 to 10 round capacity. It doesn't mean I can't give the guy 50% of the rounds right out of the gate to solve my problem, and still have more left over if he needs some more tension. All right, first drill we're gonna shoot is called an enhanced failure drill. First heard about this from Paul Howe. Great American, did a lot of good stuff for this country. We're gonna shoot 3 rounds center mass, 2 rounds to the brain box. All right, for the next exercise, what I'm going to do is basically an NSR, non-standard response, or a burst of fire. What I have is a target that's facing me to an oblique. I don't really have an exact center mass scoring zone, but what I have is a torso. I have something that needs to be put rounds into it, and he's going to get a lot of rounds. So what you saw here was a classic example of just a couple of range drills to get us in our proficiency using both of these targets. Shot what's known as the enhanced failure drill, 3 rounds center mass, 2 rounds to the brain with no immediate evaluation of my round's effectiveness. What I'm looking for is put rounds on the largest, most capable position or spot on the body that I can get accurate hits with rapidly, and then immediately through the recoil impulse, transition to the brain box, get 2 good effective rounds, hopefully turning off that problem immediately. Went over to the other target here, as you saw with the ID target systems, brought it in dimensionally, changed the shape of a little bit, still shot center mass, but you have to see where that center mass truly is as the body changes shape. And just remember, you are the only person responsible for your own life.
Trigger Time TV is brought to you by Crossbreed Holsters, Troy Industries, Troy Defense, BCM, Bravo Company USA, Nemo Arms, Lucid Optics, Drago Gear, Trigger Tech, Primary Weapon Systems, EOTech, Mayflower Research and Consulting, Wiley X, and Summit Ammunition.